scripting, because we've written down the JavaScript code inside the tag, right? That's not the approach. I mean, if you are going to go in proper JavaScript coding, we just say that we do not write down the code in that line. We are supposed to write it down internal. Is that external? Sorry. But how is internal written down? You just go here, you write down script tag, you go. Is that right? Because I can write down any, and I can write down this script tag anywhere in my HTML page. It doesn't have to be written down at the top. Is that right? It can be written down anywhere on the page. Is that okay? But when we write it down in the head, all we are trying to say is that we are being organized and saying that your browser reads that before it goes to the body. Is that right? So any animation will not appear afterwards. It has to be read in the sequential or a chronological order, so that's why it can be written down in head, right? To bring a box up, message box, which most of the bugging websites bring up, just a simple box, pop-up. So this is your pop-up. Alert is the box. Hello. Yeah, and now look, I'm going to write down this script code at the bottom of the page, wherever I want to write down. It will still, and I'm saying bye. Is that okay? I've written it down here, I've written it down here. Is that okay? This brings up the pop-up basically. So if I refresh, the page says hello. Okay. And the page says bye. Is that okay? So that's a pop-up. So that is so easy to bring up in a page. So that's your alert box says. But what I'm trying to say is that script tag can be written down anywhere in the page, and you can just put up that alert box to say whatever you want to, right? But this is not how we want it. We want this Java lines to stay in a separate file and just refer to that file. Is that right? I want so external. So JavaScript should say external. Is that okay? So what I can do is I can take this lines out from here, and I'm going to create a new file. One line. I'm going to take all these three lines separate out of this. And I can't take the event out. Event stays in HTML only. That can't go out because that is HTML event and you have to relate it to your tag. When does the action happen? That will not go out. It's what we are going to do goes in the file. So here is these are three lines. Is that okay? Now here what you need to write down is you write down script tag. You don't write down anything inside it. All you write down is the name of that. Here I'm supposed to write down source is equal to name of the file. So let's say code.js. Is that okay? So script tag, nothing inside, but just code, the name of the source file. Yeah, you can make it an empty tag by just putting a slash at the end. So now, but the problem is, the only difficulty would be you have written down three lines in here, isn't it? Is that right? Which line do I call from here? How do I tell him this line? They need some kind of identification. Is that right? They need some kind. So we make functions for that. And you will have to give it a name. Let's say function A. I'm just going to be very simple at the moment. Is that okay? Give whatever name you want to give to functions, and every function has a one line. Is that okay? Do you understand this much? I need to save this file as code.js. So I need to now here, I want to call A. This should be B. And this should be C. Is that right? I'm going to save this file as an example too, so that you can see the old code as well. Is that okay? I've save this file as separate. So for on mouse over A, on mouse over B, and on mouse over C. Here I've called each one of them as separate. Is that right? My code should still work. Oh, this is not refreshed because my page name is it 2? Oh, it's not showing anything. I did, it's called exam list 1. I've opened up exam list 1 only. I know why, because it's not taking the script tag. It's not taking end script tag. I have to write down. Because script tag is not an empty tag, you'll have to put empty. That's why. Yeah. The code still works the same way, the way it was working fine before. So what we've done is we've called those functions. I've created those functions and I've called them here. So function is a keyword. Give the name you like. Parenthesis, that's again a key. Like that's how you write them down. Start and finish, which is same as Java, isn't it? Curly brackets. They just start and finish remains the same.
Like CSS.
Sorry. Like CSS. Yeah. Start and finish. Where we wrote the whole line, we are calling that name.
So the external file always has a .js
extension.
What about the opening tag of script?
Opening tag and a closing tag?
Yeah, because I can see just closing tag from script at the top.
Where? Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Script tag, it just has got source property inside, and then you just close. Yeah. And there's nothing inside. There's nothing in the tag, right? He's asking you to. He's asking you. I don't know where did you put the line that is going to be clear. That was just an example. They are in this is basically going to cover up my message. It's not talking about my message.
That's what I'm saying. I just did that because I wanted to see yeah, it sounds different with Java.
JavaScript is not strict. Java is very strict.
Oh,
Java is stricter than C++. In terms of writing. C++ is really good. Java doesn't have to. Has everybody done? Has everybody done? The other final. Because it is not saying when you go out of the page, it's just last line of the code is still coming. Yeah. It is not, there is a function when you want to close them. Then you are saying when. We are not saying here when, we are just saying transcript is when. When you want something to only come when the page opens, there's a different event for that. When you say I want this when it is closing, there's a different event. Right. Yeah, Christopher. We want him to just scroll. Is that what you want? Yes. What is it saying missing? A is defined by what? A is defined by what? Let me read. Where do you want me to put? Because you're writing it down at two places. So, okay. This is, I don't know how, this is in okay, you have two places, you know, where you're saving files as well. Let's look at this HTML. That's not in red, right? That's the rest of. Ah. It's fine because it's working, but then you had file opened up in a different place. Yeah, now it is there.
Thank you.
Working? Yeah, it could remain the same. It's just that you've written it down differently. Yeah. Yeah. Two different ways of writing down. Yeah. Earlier I gave the example of the same one, but in real life you will always create a separate file. Even not really, I don't know. I mean, the ones you have picked or the ones you've not picked. What are them? Yes. Well, they are gone now. This is a different class, but I'll put that on the camera and we'll see. They are, but then I don't know. I mean, I hope.
Because I did ask Julian, she said it's just these files.
So is that how we are doing now? We don't give it to the people who are not, who are co-funded. We don't give it to them.
That's how it means it's supposed to be. So Apple will yes do that.
Okay. I'll put that on the Yammer, but yeah, then Friday. Friday, this class will be on Friday. Thank you. What's the signing in sheet?
Yeah, we got to
Sign and pass it on.
pick my day. Because we're using I want everyone. Maybe it's the one I want. Every time we it was the cursor over there, okay.
I'm gonna just, I obviously I have to record it. If you're coming, I just put down as ALS. And this is like you're coming for express.
Oh,
I'm not saying that I'm doing extra one-to-one. It just would be like you were in the class.
yes.
Because everybody who's in the class will be recorded. 10.
And it starts at each class?
One is gonna be here.
Oh,
Not one half.
The one after.
Not when you go to level 3. You don't wait till you are level 3. So you still have another level which you can do without it anyway. So the only problem is that the only thing which those learners didn't do is that they didn't do as much in the level 1. We don't have any classes, but that class will possibly be done in that time. That is the only possibility. Everybody's back? Is everybody back from the evening? Can we move on? Okay, this is just, I mean, obviously this was a taster of a JavaScript, but the whole idea is that I can change whatever I like when you want. Does that make sense? For this, you have to be very clear about your CSS properties and have to be aware of CSS properties because that's what you're going to change. Is that right? Like, let's say if I want the picture to disappear and come back again. So, here the picture is not there and it comes out. That means are you going to not have a source or are you going to hide it? Hide it, right? So that means what is a CSS property to hide it?
CSS hidden.
CSS display.
Display. No.
There are two properties in CSS which allows you to hide something. One is called as display property, and the other is visible. There are two properties in CSS which do that, right? But at the same time, you can make something grow up and shrink down. You can open a new window if you like, whenever you want. So it's up to us so we're going to learn slowly what can we add. Does that make sense? And the important thing is, can I grow my text? Can my page grow? Can I change the text on the page itself? Image is changeable, but can I change the
size?
add more text, not size, add more text, right? So there are a number of things which we will be able to do, and this is how we. But then there are two things which we will be working simultaneously. One is how to write down an optimized code, and the second is what we are writing down. Does that make sense? Now in this example, I have written down 3 functions here. Eventually, when you learn Java, you would be only writing down one here. Does that make sense? One function. There should be only one function doing all the 3. There should not be the need for writing down 3. Does that make sense? This is the next step. I will not do it today, but what I'm trying to say is, if this is what we will be looking at 2 things: how to do what we are asking to do, and second, how to write it down in less number of lines as we go about. Is that okay? So the example for this would be that this code will be rewritten in just one function. Is that right? And whichever file needs to be changed, it can be changed through that. Yeah. I won't change that today, so it's okay. Don't worry. Yeah. Let's look at. I have a file which I will have in a minute. Save as. And I'm taking away. I'll leave the functions like this. I'll leave everything like this, and I just create a div. I've created a div with an ID called as D1. And that's a close of that div. And it says, is that right? Now what is happening is, what I want is that when I go on each one of them, the text appears here. Is that okay? I want to write down, when it goes on banana, it defines banana, let's say. Or I'll change the text. Let me just change the text. If I've written down the word here, bootstrap. Let's say that's my page. So what I want is that when I click on Ajax, when I come on Ajax, the text here shows is of Ajax. When I bring my cursor here, it is Java, and when I click here, it is JavaScript. Is that right? Same thing what we did, but instead of picture, now it's a text. Is that okay? Question understood? Has everybody understood the question? What we are doing?
The same is the text.
Yeah, the same principle, but I don't want it on mouse over. I want it on click, because the text should be readable, so it is not good to have it on mouse over. I'm doing it on click. Is that okay? Is the question clear? I mean the task. Have you understood the task? Have you all understood the task?
To change the text.
To change the text, right? I want to change the text in this div, right? I want to change the text in this div. No, you won't be able to do it yet. I don't think so, because I haven't told you how to change the text. What? What are they talking about? Okay. What are you talking about? Team name. Okay. Ajax for me is a technology, right? Ajax is a technology used on websites. So I don't know about the team. I just know the technology, right? Like somebody says Python is a cobra, isn't it? We're talking about snakes now. No, it's a language.
No, I was talking the origin of the word was a Greek mythology.
Okay. Anyways, what I'm trying to say is that when
Yes, by using Java C.
Manuel, right? When you click on this, I want the text to change. I want the text where it says more text to change. Is that right? Now, if I was doing CSS, I can place them side by side. Do you understand? At the moment, they're just below. Do you understand? By using my CSS, the divs can be all both on the same side, but it's fine at the moment. How do I do this? The concept remains stays. I have to call 3 functions, and I'm going to call that file as code. So function A, function B, function C, or I can even call them with their names. Now in this code, I need to say document.get element by ID, which is D1, and which is D1. Is that right? But the property which you're going to change is it's called inner HTML. And I'm going to write down here whatever I want to write down. JavaScript and knowledge of server side, both combined together.
What? Ajax and JavaScript.
Ajax is JavaScript, but server side.
But like how is the only thing I'm thinking of how it works is say being a video on a web page.
No, it works first. A line. At the top.
Why would it not have to load the whole page?
Because it can send partial HTTP requests. We'll do that. Ajax is faster than PHP.
Like milliseconds, like.
Sorry? No, strongly. If we'll talk. I mean, there's a reason why people use it. It is it's a network traffic also which needs to be seen into reloading. But okay. So what I want is overwrote the file, isn't it? Code 1. Because I wrote code 1 here. Fine. Anything. Why is it not? Nothing working. Don't know why. Yeah, I'm clicking it, but just trying to check I've not left anything. So I clicked the mistake, code 1. Is code 1.
Code1.js save. Did you save that?
Yeah, I just saved that and it is linked correctly. I need to know why it is not giving the error as well. So I'm gonna change the browser setting to say show me the errors. Because by default your errors are not coming on the screen. So I just want to change the, or they won't allow me. Does it say show errors somewhere? Because it's still not showing any.
Can you not do it inspect if you like?
We could, but I could do inspect. Thank you. But because I. It is showing it correctly, but it is not doing. Okay, that's. None of them. I don't think so. There are two properties. Inner text should not work. Inner text is the one which is depreciated. Why is it giving the error with the